channel, Real Talk Recovery, where we talk about recovery from addiction and I share my life with you. So, I was just kind of chilling out today. It's really rainy here. I just got out of the shower and I was looking on YouTube and just watching some videos from some other people that are in recovery. And I saw a comment below somebody's channel and it was talking about being afraid to tell their significant other, girlfriend or boyfriend, that they're a drug addict. And specifically being afraid that because they're on Suboxone, that eventually they'll have to tell them and then that person will want to leave them, right? And first of all, I would never leave a man if he had addiction. Like, that's just not how I am. I guess some people are like that, but are those really the kind of people that you want in your life? Somebody that's going to leave you when you're struggling? I don't know. For me, when I get into relationships, before I met my husband, well, no, I'm going to use my husband as an example because we're both in recovery, but we were both active addicts when we met each other. And I remember when I first met him, we sat and we talked about our lives and we had in common. We had, even though we were in our active addiction, we wanted better for ourselves. We had a lot of the same goals and aspirations. We wanted kids. We wanted to be sober. We both were working at the time when we met, and we were, trying to better our lives, but we were still struggling in our active addiction. And so, like, I wasn't embarrassed at all, around Neal because, like I said, he was in active addiction too. So we were both actively using. So there was no embarrassment, right? Hey Derek, what's up? Welcome to the channel. There was no like, oh, I can't be honest with him about my addiction, because when we met, we were using together. Hey Joy, when we met, we were using, so we were getting high together. But I can imagine, and I think what happens, you guys, is that I think men feel like because they're the man that they have to like hide that kind of stuff. And listen, if I was you and I was a man, I would be straight up transparent. So if you're on Suboxone and you're dating another lady, and you're dating a woman, okay, and you haven't told her yet that you're in recovery, right? Because I look at it like this: if you're taking medically assisted, you guys, then you are working towards bettering your life. Okay, you're trying to get better. You're treating your disease. So if you're on Suboxone, there's no shame. Tell that person. I would tell them in the beginning before I got too far into a relationship with them. And then if I start falling in love with them, and I tell them and they leave me, right? He's doing so good. Had to stop and say I love you and leave a thumbs up for one of my faves. Hey, Mandy. Thanks, girl. Yeah, you guys, Mandy and Joy both have YouTube channels. If you guys want to, when you get done here, go over there and subscribe to their channels. Is it buffering now, Annie? My clinic, usually one is the one taking me out. I'm glad to see that. My husband comes with me every time. Yeah, Sonia. And a lot of people will tell you, like, I know for me, when me and my husband got together, my mom was like, oh, hell no. She was like, y'all are signing up for disaster. You guys are never going to make it. She sat us down and told us, like, this is the biggest mistake you're ever going to make in your whole entire life. She was trying to get us to go our separate ways. But me and Neal, you guys, when we met, we were so fucking like, what do they call it? Something about a star. We were like, I can't think what it's called. Anyway, we were soulmates, you guys. We were soulmates. Like, it was just like, you two, girl, love you. 2 peas in a pod. Yeah, that too. But we were like, when we met each other, it was like, he completed me, you guys. It was like he was the person that I was meant to be. Twin flames. That's it, Annie. That's it. Star-crossed lovers. Hey, Mom. Star-crossed. Yeah, that too. Twin flames. Twin flames, which is like basically it's like your soulmate. You guys, when you get off of here, look up twin flames and you'll see what I'm talking about. But when me and Neal met, we were like Romeo and Juliet. You remember that show with Leonardo DiCaprio and what's her face? And we, you guys, like, I remember, let me tell y'all a funny story so y'all can laugh. Okay, y'all are going to laugh so hard. Bonnie and Clyde, I'm going to tell, now you got me going, Mom. Now you got me going. Now I'm going to tell you guys two stories about, first, the one about, I'll do Bonnie and Clyde last because it's really crazy. And I'm going to sit here on the floor because I'm not trying to get my little boy on camera. Y'all know how that goes. So, okay, I'm going to tell you this first one about Neal when he went into treatment when we first met. Okay, so I think me and Neal had been dating for about 6 months. And within those 6 months, we had managed to get arrested, him thrown in jail, okay? Like basically, oh, I'm so sorry. What happened, George? In that 6 months, we had managed to get thrown in jail. Oh, I am so sorry. Rest in peace. Rest in peace. But you know what, George? Listen to me, and I'm not trying to like say this to make anybody upset or sad, but we have to learn from our friends that pass away, okay, from the disease of addiction. We have to learn from what they go through, okay? If we don't learn from their passing, we have to learn and say, you know what? I'm going to stay sober. I'm going to keep working towards my recovery. I'm going to keep doing the right thing, right? In their name, okay? I have lots of friends that have passed from overdoses, and I'm not going to go out and get high anymore today because I'm going to continue to share their story that around, you know? I'm so sorry, though. Listen to me. Stay connected to everybody. You're in the Facebook group. Go in there and talk to everybody. You can go live in there anytime you want to, George. Yes. We get another chance, and this is what this old timer used to say when I would go to meetings, you guys. He would say, they die so we can live. They die so we can live. Hey, Liz. What's up? Okay, George. I love you. You guys, it's just like, that makes me sad, you know. I don't want anybody to pass away from the disease of addiction. Hey, Stephanie. What it really makes me think about is my mom and my dad when I was in active addiction and how they felt. Because I know how hard it is to watch people that I just get to know here on my channel for a small period of time, right? And then I will not hear from some of you guys. You'll go off for 30 days, 90 days, 6 months, and then you'll come back. So it's so hard when you're in active addiction, it's hard to get sober because you feel like there's no hope. I remember what that was like. And I guess that's why I get a little choked up, because I remember what it was like to never get sober. I remember what it was like to be ashamed and to be embarrassed. You know, I tell a lot of these funny stories of things that I did when I was in active addiction because it's fucking crazy. It's funny as hell. But you guys, it's serious. It's serious. So let me go ahead and wipe away these tears. And, sorry, I just got overwhelmed with emotion there for a second. So, when me and Neal were in active addiction, you guys, we fell in love right away. And I think we fell in love because we were both just like, we were so lost. We were just searching for something inside of us, right? That we couldn't find. And when we found each other, we were just like,
We were attached at the hip. So within the first 6 months, Neal had gotten arrested, and he got arrested one night. You guys, we had been on a bender. We had been smoking crack, shooting dope, just all kinds of craziness, and we had been up all night long in my apartment. And Neal went off the deep end and started chasing me around this apartment with a steak knife. Well, I knew everybody in this apartment, you guys. So y'all know my big mouth ass ran out into the hallway, and I was like, "Help! Help!" And you guys, like, I swear to God, I was probably like the size of a skeleton. I was like, "Help! Help!" And the next door neighbor let me into their apartment, right? And Neal ran. He just darted off the property. I didn't think anything about it. They called the police. The police came out there, and I was like, "I'm fine. I'm fine." Well, they found Neal behind the building, passed out underneath like this construction site, right? So they took him in and booked him on charges for domestic violence. You guys, we fought that and fought that. I had to go to court with him and say, like, it's all good. We were high on drugs. It was bad because he's never hurt me before. But when we were like that and we would have been up for days and days, I would pick fights with him. And I don't know if any of you girls were like this when you were in active addiction, but I would get so high. I would start accusing him of cheating on me. I would say he was sleeping with somebody when he was in the room beside me. Like, I would be looking over and I would see somebody in the bed with him. And I would be in the bed with him too, but I would swear on the Bible that there was somebody in that bed with him right there beside me. I mean, on the Bible, you guys. Like, my eyes were just, I was so bad. So I would freak out and start screaming at him and hitting him and, acting crazy, right? So a lot of the times it was my mind hallucinating and me blaming it on him. And can you imagine? Like, he stuck with me, you guys, because, like, I used to do that all the time. I used to do that all the time. I did it especially whenever after I had my son, I was in a real bad place. You guys know the story about that. And I was really bad then, and I would do it all the time then too. I'm just so grateful that I'm not in that position anymore. But he had to go to rehab. So they said, okay, his parents were like, you need to go to treatment. Remember, Mom? And I was like, oh, hell no. They're trying to take my man. They're trying to take him away from me, right? So I called my mom and I was like, Neal's putting me on his bank account, which he did, you guys. He put me on his bank account. So I was like the person in charge of his money when he went to treatment. And let me just tell you guys, he gave me a bottle of 355 355 10 milligram methadone 10 pills. He gave me that bottle and he said, sell these pills and make the money and put the money in my bank account and you can use that money to live off of, right? Yes, sir. I'm going to sell every one of these pills. My ass went back to Hot Springs, went over to my girlfriend Misty's house. I probably ate 175 of them pills by myself. Oh my God, you guys. Yes. And that night, my mom and I came back to my parents' house. And so Neal's in treatment and he's calling me, you guys. And he's like, I hate it here. I hate it here. We're in the middle of nowhere. And it was in Pocahontas, Arkansas, right? He was like, you don't understand. They have us doing Bible study all day long. What am I going to learn from this? And you guys also have to remember that Neal was cold turkey off of like over 100 milligrams of methadone a day. And here I am running the streets. I mean, this bottle of methadone was this big, you guys. I ended up selling $550. I got $550 for the rest of the methadone, but I made a good dent in that. I ate a lot of it. Well, since I had eaten a lot of it, I was like in this I was not sleeping. I was like in this halfway sleep, halfway awake, right? And my mom and my sister said that they came inside my room. I'm going to show y'all something. Y'all are going to laugh so hard. They came in the room because I was staying at my mom's house. And I was sitting on the bed like this. and my sisters. And then they said that I was like sitting there and my eyes were like this with just the whites showing. Mom, you have got to come on my channel and tell these damn stories with me because they're never going to believe me. My sister Michelle was like, Mom, she's possessed. She's possessed. She looks like she's from the girl from The Ring. Sonia, I swear to God. It was because I was unconscious, you guys. When I would take like 17 or 18 methadones in a day, my eyes would go like this and all you could see was the whites. And I would walk around like that everywhere. You were eating me at a house at home because you were sleeping. So, yeah. So Neal's calling me. I'm eating my mom at a house and home and I'm looking like I'm possessed, right? And my sister's like, Mom, she's possessed. We need to go in there and do like they're going to have a fucking, what is it called whenever, you guys know what I'm talking about. The power of Christ compels you. Power of Christ compels you. That thing. So that happened. And these stories, you guys, like the way I'm telling them to you, it's as real as they can come. I mean, my sister was there. My mom was there. Exorcism. One day, I'm going to get my mom on here and she's going to tell you the stories from her point of view because I think they're funny. I'm over here laughing. But it could not have been funny to my mom. You know what I'm saying? I know. I was so high, y'all, and I hadn't slept. I was looking crazy. Okay, so I got the $500, put it in Neal's bank account, and instead of live off of it, guess what I did? I decided to go and buy myself some brand new Ugg boots. I went to Dillard's, and I went on a shopping spree. Well, then I called my friend Tanya, and I was like, Tanya, you need to come up here and get me and help me take all this shit back to Little Rock. Well, then Neal decided he was going to jump ship, you guys, okay? He jumped ship. He ran from the treatment center and went and got a hotel room. And this is in Pocahontas, Arkansas. It's literally like 4.5 hours away. His parents had to drive up there with him. And he's like, hey, Nicole, where's that money that, you got from, those pills? And I was like, these boots and this shirt and these jeans and da-da-da-da. Took me back to Dillard's, you guys, and he made me return every single thing I got. I gotta charge my phone up. Sorry if it's cutting out. It's really, really rainy here. He made me return every single thing, you guys. Everything I had gotten. There we go. Got some charge on it now. And I went and returned everything. No, hell no. I'm all over the place today. But these... Yeah, you're right beside us, Joy. Oh, yeah, it's been raining for like... Okay, let me be still with the camera. Sorry, guys. Making y'all sick, probably. Okay. Let me get my breath because I'm laughing. Okay, so Neal left the treatment center. And, his parents were so upset. They blamed me for him leaving that treatment center. You guys, I wasn't doing nothing. I was out. I didn't tell him to leave. I have never, you can ask my mom, you guys, I have never left a treatment center. I've stayed every time the whole 30 days. Neal is a lot different than me. Never been through any kind of hardship. He's never been homeless. His never stopped helping him. He's never had to go to rehab and actually stay there. He's never been in trouble by the law. Like, I'm like, what do you mean you can't take 30 days? You know what I mean? Like, I took 30 days in treatment and took it as a freaking vacation, got my weight back up, and then I'd go back out, But Neal was a lot different than I was. He was really, really sheltered. So he couldn't handle it. He had to get out of there. He was super depressed too. And that's the thing, like, sorry. It's laugh about it now, but Neal was like really going through a hard time. Like, he wanted to kill himself. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want Neal to come on one day and tell you guys his story because it's so much different than mine.
It's so much different than mine, you know? I was out there in them streets because I get high. And I stayed out there because that's just what I was doing, you know? But Neal was like struggling mentally. And that's not my story. Like, I didn't have no struggle, you know? I chose to do what I was doing, you know? My parents, I wasn't like mentally ill. I wasn't like, I mean, of course I was to a point because I was in my addiction, but I mean, like, I was out there just partying, right?
Mom,
Right.
give me a cover over there. Over there.
Oh yeah, it's on the bed right there, on my bed. It was just a
No,
whole bad
I
situation.
can't get it.
Yeah, baby, look.
It's too long. It's too heavy.
Okay, Nate's right here. Hey guys, I want to come back and do this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to end this story and then I'll be back in 2 minutes. Love you guys.
They were figuring out with